did want to run through some potential fantasy candidates that might be able to help you down the stretch here as you get ready. Some leagues are in the playoffs. Some leagues are in the final week of the regular season as we get ready for fantasy focus here. And what I want to discuss is just guys that are under 50% owned that can bring something to the table here. First up, I want to start off in LA. They host Flyers tonight. Is Alex Laferriere. He's got triple position eligibility. Currently the right wing on the Kings' second line. Plays on the top power play unit. He's a cross-category guy. Shots on goals, some blocks, has 4 goals and 2 assists in his last 9 games. And he's going to get some decent matchups because all the attention is going to go towards the Kopitar-Panarin line. So he may be able to sneak a few more points in down the stretch. Currently 40% owned.
Yeah, listen, the triple position eligibility is where it's at. It gives your roster so much flexibility to be able to move guys in as we get down towards the last few weeks of the season. We're going to see a lot of those, super heavy Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday slates, the off slates, the Monday, the Wednesdays, the Fridays. So you want to be able to move players around, get them in. If we do get some balanced slates, you want to make sure you're fitting in everybody that you can fit in, especially from an offensive side. So I think that's a smart ad here. And the Kings have something to play for, so they got to go out there and do everything they can to keep their hopes and dreams alive.
And because they move him all over the lineup, he's even if he doesn't have the same role, he's going to be in that top 6. So that's one guy. Now we go from Laferriere to Lafreniere, Alexis Lafreniere, 47% owned. And listen, he's cooled off a bit in recent games, but since the Panarin trade, he's lit the lamp 9 times with 7 assists, 3 of those points on the power play. Something Chris has been asking for a long time is more Lafreniere power play time. For better or worse, they're going to see what they have in this guy down the stretch. He's not. There's nobody that's threatening to take his spot out of the top 6 or even for that top line right now. Him and Zibanejad have chemistry, so even if he's just riding his coattails, don't matter for the rest of the year in terms for the fantasy perspective. Points are points.
Well, I mean, listen, we had to wait this long to get him to see regular top power play minutes, and he is delivering. The one thing for Lafreniere as well, his shot volume has started to go up. He's taking more shots. He's at least attempting more of them as well. The ice time is steady. The puck is finding the back of the net, which is always great. But you want players to capitalize on their volume, and that seems to be something that he is doing. So just as somebody who's been, I've been betting his shot prop a lot recently, a lot of good matchups, and he's been cashing in on them. Sometimes he was a guy who would get maybe 1, maybe 2 a game. Now we're seeing him sometimes hit the 3, 4 shots a game, which it might not be much, but it's still towards the net. And the opportunity that he's getting to skate on that top line is there. I don't think he is anywhere near the potential that he could be. And I mean, the Rangers need somebody to step up and at least care, because I mean, the rest of that team just seems like they're just mailing it in. They're waiting for golf season, which should be around the corner soon.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing, too, is because they're not really playing for anything, there may be some uninspired play, but they have enough young guys in that lineup that I think that'll keep everybody going. And Lafreniere knows what he's playing for at this point. He's trying to prove that he's worth the contract. Even with the cap going up, it's still a little pricey there. Now, Marek checking in. Are you guys surprised by some of the guys you have on your teams as we approach the playoffs and vice versa? And who's been a disappointment? Now, we'll do a fantasy disappointment episode because I really like to look and see who really just fell short for me this year. One name I will say off the top of my head, and he's been better lately, coincidentally, with the healthy Jack Hughes, is Jesper Bratt. He is a guy that was very inconsistent, a guy that I took a little bit higher, not a guy I usually took, but I thought, all right, this seems to be a good year for him. The thing that frustrates me about Jesper Bratt the most is he only produces on the nights where it's like, okay, I have so many guys and he sits. When he plays on those off nights, he does nothing. But on the nights you bench him because those are the nights he scored. That's been one of my more frustrating guys this year.
I drafted Elias Pettersson. So I mean, I don't have to really sum that up in any way, shape, or form. It has not been great. I will say this: from one of the surprises has been the production out of Morgan Geekie. And
yes.
In this league, the one that we did, the Total Hockey Now one as well, I was thrusted into a position where I felt like I had to take Pasternak, and I mean that's worked out pretty well. I don't think anybody is disappointed. That wasn't the guy I had on the list, but it has worked out well. But Morgan Geekie, you could get him outside of the top 100 without having to break a sweat. And he has triple position eligibility, which is something that I was definitely looking for. And that has worked out phenomenally, right? The shot volume kind of isn't there, but he's burying it. So if you're not going to take a lot of shots, but you find the back of the net, I mean, you know what I mean? Do so. The second one that's also really worked out, and I knew it would be good. I didn't think it would be this good though. Is Macklin Celebrini? Like I knew that he was going to be okay. You could probably get him like second round. We saw him sometimes going to third. Like he's probably a top 5 fantasy player next year. Like that's it. Like you had your buy low window of that one time. Yeah, it's over. It's basically like that 1 year where you could get like Makar and Kaprizov in like, you know, on the turn. Those days are gone. And the same thing with being able to get like in this league where I have Pasternak and Celebrini. Like those days are over. They're gone. We'll never see that again. So that's worked out pretty well for me.
I'll say Sergachev on the blue line's been a little bit of a disappointment from a fantasy. Not like, oh my God, he's been terrible, but compared to his ADP, expecting a little bit more from him. But we'll do fantasy disappointments and
no shortage of them.
No shortage of those once we get out of the fantasy playoffs. Another guy I wanted to mention here, I got a few more to go. Charlie Coyle, center right wing eligibility here. Definitely been one of the biggest benefactors since Rick Bowness's arrival behind the bench since January 24th. 7 goals, 18 assists, 6 power play points. He wins faceoffs. He shoots the puck. In that same stretch, he's been held without a point only 4 times. So, yes, he's currently centering the third line in Columbus, but top power play and penalty kill units. Sometimes having those I'd rather have a third line guy that plays top power play than a second line guy that plays second power play. So, and right wing, not always a really deep position. Coyle was a guy I had in our league and then dropped him, and then Ant's brother picked him up, finishes first place. I'm sure that was a little bit of a help to him down the stretch. He officially beat the doors off me to keep me out of the playoffs by a single point this year. The 2 leagues I missed the playoffs in this year, I missed by a point in both, by the way. I made it every other league.
Damn, so close yet so far. Listen, Rick Bowness has definitely helped a lot of the Columbus Blue Jacket players, you know, offensively, defensively as well. The goaltending has been a lot better as well. If you were like someone like me who took a kind of a flyer on Jet Greaves, it's worked out ish. I don't think it's to the level that I was hoping it would be, but it's not poor. It's just not great. It's exactly what I bought kind of thing, and that's okay.
I think what hurts the value there is that Bonus, for some reason, has this thing about playing Merzlikins. So I don't know if maybe he's trying to keep Greaves fresh for a potential playoff run, but if he played Greaves the way he should, with the frequency he should be played, I think those numbers would be better. But I agree. I have him as my goalie too in a lot of leagues, and he's not a disappointment at all.
And sometimes Merzlikins is he's played better with Bonus there because the attention to the defensive zone is there now. So again, I mean, Merzlikins was terrible. So, you know, he's gone up, but there was nowhere else to go but up. So that's worked out decent. But yes, there are a lot of Blue Jackets that could get any type of fantasy consideration here. They still have something to play for as well. So even guys like Connor Garland, Mason Marchment, these are all guys who, if they're hanging around, you know, the Jackets are going with a goal scoring by committee. They don't have a ton of guys offensively that are, you know, there's no David Pasternak, I would say, on that team. It is a committee by going forward. Yes, they have Werenski, but I mean, he's in a position on his own. He can't do it all by himself. So Charlie Coyle, definitely a very good add down the stretch here.
Another guy we want to talk about also battling for playoff positioning with those Blue Jackets are the Boston Bruins. Give me Pavel Zacha, left wing and center eligibility, 38% owned. He's on the second line and on the top power play unit. He's a big face-off guy. 7 goals and 5 assists since the Olympic break of course 11 games, so he's averaging a point per game. He does shoot the puck. He'll occasionally deliver more hits than you would expect out of him. He'll have that random 4 or 5 hit game. So if you get one of those in a week, that could swing you a little bit. And he's consistently been the second line center for the bulk of the season, so I don't worry about him losing his spot. Maybe Elias Lindholm, because now they're giving Fraser Mitten the chance on the top spot, it looks like. So I think Zacha's kind of locked in on that second line there. You know, if you need faceoffs with a mix of other offense, do worse.
No, everything you said is correct there. I cannot add one more thing to it. He's just a good ad at this point.
Now, some other forwards that you could consider adding at this point: Anthony Mantha, 43% owned, and that's a perfect example of a guy that's currently on their third line, but getting those top power play units now that Crosby's back in the lineup, he might even be able to get some more coattail points. Bobby McMahon, 40% owned, left wing, right wing eligibility. Maybe this is just new team, buzz, and it'll settle down. But right now, what is he's got? He's 35% owned. He's got like I'm looking for my stats here. I don't have them written down. I apologize. Second power play unit, fits in the lineup well there. Top line, Owen Tippett, 35% owned. But the Flyers, what hurts me with Tippett is that the Flyers in general are kind of not a high scoring team. They're not a good offensive team, but Tippett's the guy that's been scoring consistently for them. And then finally, among the forwards, Frank Nazar with the Blackhawks, 19% owned. Second line center there. Gets the top line power play minutes with Bedard. And, Chicago's not playing for anything down the stretch. So, I don't know how much defense you're going to see. They're going to push the puck, and he's provided a spark in that line.
Bobby McMahon has 6 points in the 3 games since joining Seattle. He has 10 shots on goal, right? Of those 10 shots, 40% have found the back of the net, and 8 hits. It's not, listen, he's probably going to cool down at some point, or maybe he's just really happy to be out of Toronto. So 2 things can be true at the same time here. But that is definitely a good ad. He has shot up 21% ownership on Yahoo in the last 24 hours. So there's still a window if you want to grab him. It's now though, because if not, we're cooked.
And they're not going to make quick changes. They've plugged him in on the top line. It's working. They're going to ride that for a little while. They're not going to be if he has a bad game tonight against Nashville, I don't think it's going to be they're going to see what they got there. Seattle this is a key game. We'll talk about it later. Seattle Kraken, I almost feel like the loser's kind of bye-bye. You're out of the mix for a wild card spot. But those are some forwards to consider. I do have one defenseman and one goalie. Tony DeAngelo. Yes, that Tony DeAngelo. Listen, Matthew Schaefer is everything for that Islanders blue line. But DeAngelo's the only other guy capable of moving the puck. So he's on the second power play unit. He's had a point in all but 3 games since February 26th. He shoots the puck a fair amount. He gets your blocks. He's playing around 20 minutes a night and only 13% ownership. So yes, he's not going to get you hits, but if you need a defenseman to do other things, you could take a flyer on him on the right matchups, and I think that'll be okay. Yes, it's all Schaefer. DeAngelo's the only other guy that's going to be driving offense from the line for them.
Listen, he's there, and I mean, I don't know how much Patrick Wall wants to keep running Schaefer out there 28 minutes a night, but I mean, somebody's got to somebody else has to play at some point, and it seems like DeAngelo is getting the look. So if you can help you with some of those secondary categories, then take him. He's not going to win you a championship, but he most certainly won't hurt your chances. So that's what you're looking for here.
I mean, yes, Schaefer's young, and you can, from a conditioning standpoint, probably play him that much, but it's also stakes are going to start to get a little higher, and he certainly seems like a guy that can handle it. But sometimes, you want to mold people in certain situations, be like, here's your chance to grow, here's your chance to handle the stuff, and he's going to do that. But you need to have somebody else too, and DeAngelo's that guy for the Islanders. Now, last guy I want to talk about is Alex Nedeljkovic, 10% owned. Yes, Askarov is hurt right now. Don't know when he's going to be back. I mean, he might even dress in one of the next couple of games as he returns. I'm actually going to Sharks Flyers on Saturday afternoon, so maybe he'll be back by then. It's tough to get a goalie at this stage of the season, but Nedeljkovic could help you in the coming week here with Askarov banged up. He's also been Askarov has been susceptible to some not so great performances over the last maybe month or so. And that's probably because of a porous blue line that doesn't always play the best defense. But Nedeljkovic, as we talked about before, has experience playing behind bad teams. So he knows how to handle a blue line that might be more of a sieve than anything else, depending upon the pairing that's out there. So 901 save percentage. One thing that I will also say that's been surprising this year, to go back to Marek, is the amount of goalies that are sub 900 save percentages. And there are still starters in this league. I feel like that overall bar has come down. They're not going to rush Askarov back. Laurent Brossoit is not a threat to really do anything there. Nedeljkovic has been kind of a calming presence for them. So I can see Warsofsky laying it closer to a 50-50 down the stretch. It's not a bad handcuff to have, Nedeljkovic and Askarov, if you need something for the playoffs.
Good spot starts, right? Maybe you're not rolling him out there every time he plays.
Tonight's not a night I would start him against Buffalo.
Nope, definitely not. But, that game against Philadelphia seems like a perfect game for him to be starting in the lineup.